Hey, what is up guys? Mixelplix here. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a quick little short noob friendly guide, kind of explaining your first of 5 to 10 minutes of the Sea of Thieves and what you can expect, what exactly Sea of Thieves is, and just kind of getting you on your way to your very first voyage. So before we even get started, we're going to be making our character. So let's go ahead and we'll take a few minutes here, see what we can find, and kind of decide on a new pirate. After a few minutes of selecting and kind of going through the randomization of pirates, we're going to go ahead and choose this one right here. So let's go ahead and select this one. This is going to be our pirate. All right, so kind of understand what you see here on the menu. You got adventure, a pirate's life, are both intertwined into one, and you have arena and maiden voyage. Maiden voyage is definitely something you're going to have to do as you start out. There is a way of bypassing it, but regardless, you should probably do that as a new player, as it gives you the very basics of the game. Arena, I would bypass as a brand new player. So let's go ahead and go into straight in adventure mode. We'll test it out. So depending on what crew size you're going to play on, whether you have friends or not, we're going to go ahead and obviously do a sloop as we're doing this as a solo. We're going to go ahead and do close crew. Now you can choose to open up your crew with a completely random person, but it's kind of like a mixed bag, whether you get someone that has a microphone or not. It's entirely up to you. Personally, again, since we're doing this and we are a seasoned player, we're going to go ahead and go to a closed crew. We're going to confirm and assemble crew, and we're going to set sail. All right, so welcome to the Sea of Thieves. To kind of get things going, I'm going to go ahead and do a little explanation as to what Sea of Thieves is, a game which I've been playing for over 3 years, have put way too much time into, and kind of explaining why I love this game. Now, this game, for me, I've enjoyed both elements of it, and I think that's crucial that you do the same. And also understand what you're getting yourself into playing Sea of Thieves. Now, Sea of Thieves is a PvE PvP game. Now, both of these are intertwined and are basically kind of cut into a 50-50 slice. Now, for those who don't know what those terms mean, PvE is player versus environment. That's tackling voyages or tackling different things that are generated by the game. Non-player entities basically is what you're going to be running into. Things that you do with voyages, AI ships, anything that is computer generated is player versus environment. But there's also PvP. Now that's player versus player. Now that's the moment you load into a game, the moment you load into a server, you're going to be spawning in at a tavern. Each outpost has a tavern. Now these taverns are always going to be located just like you see here, and they usually have an NPC like so out front to kind of give you an idea of where you are. Again, these have barkeeps and everything else, and also kind of just an area to kind of start things off. But the moment you load into the game, you are subject to being attacked from players. Now, that's crucial, and for some reason, this is becoming a thing that a lot of people don't understand. This game is not a PvE game. It has PvP elements, which you need to understand and also be prepared for. Now, to kind of go ahead and go through what an outpost has and what everything here is, we're going to go through this and explain it for you quickly, but so you can understand exactly what everything is. So let's go ahead and start checking out the different things you can look here. So this is an equipment vendor. Now this equipment vendor sells you things, or skins, or different compasses, shovels, lanterns, stuff like that. These will always have an equipment chest that you can switch out like so. You got your banjo, your bucket, your compass. Everything here equipment wise can be located and interchanged here. And if you go to an NPC like so, they'll have a certain amount of items here with a gold value intertwined with them. Now there's dozens upon dozens of these, as the game is, again, not relatively new. There's a nice little backlog, so you can kind of pick and choose what you feel comfortable with. So keep in mind, this is the equipment vendor, and you can always just get new compasses and stuff over there. Now, to kind of go ahead and go into the factions, you're going to have 3 different factions on the main island straight out of the gate. Others you can access in the end game, but for the first major 3, these are going to be at every outpost and always have the same layout. Now, this green tent here, if you ever want to turn in chest or little trinkets, you can turn these in at the gold hoarder like so. They always will have gold layered across their body and will always be under a green tent. This is something that's on every outpost. So if you're looking to sell a chest or a small little chalice or trinket, definitely sell it to these guys and they'll give you a nice little bit of coin. Then you have here is the Odorous Souls and the microtransaction store. They kind of go into this real quick. Odorous Souls has the banner outside just like so. And if you're looking to sell a skull to the Odorous Skulls Covenant, I guess, or I don't know if it's really a covenant, you sell it to them. They will give you top dollar for it. Definitely one of the probably the most important NPCs to keep in mind, as skulls are pretty available in the Sea of Thieves, and you'll see why later in the future. Now up here is the Pirate Emporium. Now this was a feature added later in the game's life, which allows Rare to kind of make a little bit of extra coin by selling you ship skins and things of the like. Now you can also, if you end up making a pirate that you're not a fan of, you can also get these relatively cheap for very little to no dollar. But you can kind of sift through here if you want to get some premium cosmetics. Again, these are paid with real money. You can go through here and kind of just take a look. You got from pets to costumes to weapon skins to ship skins, which there's literally like a dozen of them, all of which are really nice. And again, they're well worth the money. But again, these are paid with premium currency, aka real dollars. So bear in mind, that's how you get them. You can get other skeletons that will give you this currency, but we'll talk about that in the future. So we've talked about Gold Hoarder and Orders of Souls. Now let's go ahead and talk about one of the other merchants or NPCs down here on the dock. Now these will always be located right next to a Shipwright. Now a Shipwright is basically an NPC that will sell you anything relating to your ship, from cannon flares to the figurehead to the capstan to the sails that you use on your ship. These will always be available here at a relatively expensive cost. Sails are not cheap in this game, and I know some of these prices are daunting, but once you start to play, gold is plentiful for the most part. So Shipwright is right here and always available next to a merchant. Now the merchant here will always have both kind of like a map right here and also a outpost inventory journal, and always kind of have this little look going at it. They will always be on the dock and always be ready for you to interact with if you're looking to do kind of like a more of a passive play style to making coin. Now to explain exactly what you see here on the beach. Now this was added recently in the latest patch, which will start you off with the Pirates of the Caribbean Tall Tales series. Now this is something, if you're a new player, a lot of you probably which have heard about this, this is definitely worth doing. This is a 5-part series adventure, which I think is amazing to do, and it's definitely a good intro into the game. But it is kind of, again, it's a very singular, it's a very linear storytelling experience, but that of which you can talk to the Castaway NPC here, or you can just go ahead and start the Tall Tales by interacting with these on the wall here. Now here you have clothing. Now the clothing NPC is always going to have a vanity box or a vanity chest to interact with right here, and also clothing. Now as we seem to not have anything at our disposal pretty much because we're a brand new account, we're basically just not going to have anything that we can use, so we're just going to stay plain at the moment. But if you're looking to upgrade your look, you're trying to look a little clean, you're trying to impress the ladies or your boyfriend or whoever, basically you go here and you can pay for dozens upon dozens of items. There's everything from face paint to belts to beards to jackets to everything, some of which are tied behind certain achievements in the game. Also just have a lot of gold tied to them as well. Definitely worth looking into this. But again, you can always identify if you're looking to change your pirate's clothing. You can always identify it by the clothing chest right here and the vanity chest right here. And for our final thing we're going to be showcasing off at the outpost is the weaponsmith. Now the weaponsmith has the most noticeable thing you can interact with. It will have a weapon box right outside, or an armory, which you can switch your loadout. Now we're not going to go into what's the best weapon loadout as a brand new player, but this is something you can interact with exactly right here. Well, for us, we're going to be using sniper and sword. But if you're looking to get a nice little clean skin, if a sailor default look, it just isn't cutting for you, you can go here You can talk with the NPC, and you can buy weapon skins for every weapon in the game, all of which some have some positives, some have some negatives, but it's ultimately up to you on which you choose to use. But again, everything here has gold value tied to it, so when you can actually obtain these items is up to you. And there you guys have it. That's the first little thing.
Goodbye, scoundrel.
Okay. So there you guys have it. This is our first video on an ongoing series explaining what you can expect the moment you install the game, from character creation to spawning in at an outpost, and what to expect, or what there is at an outpost and what they do. Now, one thing I did not go ahead and point out in the actual video is everything in these interactable barrels is worth putting on your ship. We're not going to go into detail just yet as to what that is, but everything in those barrels is worth throwing on your ship, and supplies are great in this game. But I wanted to explain in this first video what Sea of Thieves is, what to expect, and to kind of get you on your travels. So thank you guys for watching. Let's go ahead and lift our anchor and set sail. In the next video, we're going to be kind of explaining what you can do in the Sea of Thieves when you first head out on the sea for the very first time, what you can interact with, what to look out for, and what things I do and what things you can do to kind of understand the Sea of Thieves. So let's go ahead and lift up our anchor and let's get out of here. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave us a comment down below if this video guide helps you at all to kind of understand the very basics of Sea of Thieves. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next video, man. So we're going to set sail. I will see you guys in the next one.